Emanuel is the best, ah da da da. Ceaser Emanuel is the best, ah da da da. I said Emanuel is the best, ah da da da. Ceaser Emanuel is the best.
Hi!
Welcome to the
Levin Lounge.
We are the three hosts for today's episode. I'm Madison.
I'm Skylar.
And I'm Alana.
And today we are going to be interviewing Ceaser Emanuel from Black Ink.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good. How about you?
So, Ceaser, take us back. What was it like growing up in NYC in your,
Perspective.
In my perspective, oh, y'all trying to tell me my age and whatnot?
Oh, no.
No.
All right. I grew up. Let's say I grew up like in the '90s. You feel me? It was very different back then. Like we went outside. Like for real. We didn't have phones and we didn't do the texting thing. Like honestly, people really didn't use their cell phones to the weekends because that was free nights and weekends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you can imagine that, right? You don't use your phone after 7 o'clock and stuff like that. Nobody can imagine that, not especially y'all generation. But it was different. Like I gotta say, it was. I have to say those was like the golden era compared to now. It's like black people were really outside, and we really was showing our culture. Like Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson. Dang, I'm really telling my age. Mike Tyson. Most of them guys are retired now, but that was the golden era back then.
Okay. What were the biggest challenges in building Black Ink into a brand?
The biggest challenge was it was something that was never done before. Like I couldn't go back to like somebody else's blueprint or let's say somebody else that had done it before, because for a black or let's say a minority tattoo owner, we don't really have a stake in the whole industry. So for me to have to sit there and basically just decide that I'm gonna just do what I gotta do for basically the minorities, it was very difficult because people kept trying to fight against basically the change. Nobody wanted to see, let's just say, a black tattoo owner, preferably one that has multiple shops. Like something like that, black, white, that's never happened before. So for me to franchise a tattoo industry, most of it I did because I always felt like we was always slept on in that industry. And we're still the minorities as far as blacks in the tattoo industry. So I gotta put it out for us, you feel me?
So,
Why is it important for you to give back to young people like us?
I feel like sometimes people forget about the youth. And one thing about me, I always, when I was younger, I was always looking for somebody like help me and stuff like that. Like when I was younger, I wish somebody would come to my school and come talk to me or even do something like this. You feel me? And I always take time to do stuff like this because I always wish there was somebody out there to just talk to me. Especially coming up as minorities, we don't see entrepreneurship like that. We don't see us succeed in just regular business. We always see us as blacks succeed in entertainment or being athletes or in sports or anything like that. So it's always good for me to come back and just show people like, yo, I'm a regular person. Like I'm a tattoo artist. I hustle ink. Like I don't have to be a brainiac, but you guys are smarter than us, and y'all can push the next level and push the ball. Like I'm not gonna lie, I've done pushed the ball. I'm gonna continue to keep doing that because I want y'all to keep pushing the ball. I want y'all to get even higher.
Relating to back to Alana's question, how what inspired you to start tattooing? What inspired you to become what you are now?
I have to say it was mainly my daughter, because with my daughter now it was like I was a knucklehead. Like only thing I really cared about at the time, only thing really I had responsibility for was my cell phone bill. I didn't have no responsibilities. I was going from house to house, you know what I mean, doing the regular God thing, and it was like once my daughter came around, I understood like certain things I couldn't do no more. Like certain things I wouldn't want her to go through. I wouldn't want her to go through a jail visit or having to visit me in a gravesite. So it was more like, how can I stop myself from that destiny or that statistic that a lot of black men fall into? So what I did was I decided that I'm not gonna follow that path no more. I knew I was smart, but my ego and my I have to say my stupidity made me think that I could sit there and do what I would do and not think about the future. But when she happened, it was like, damn, I gotta really think about the future. I gotta really get stable. So when everything transpired and my baby mother told me like, yo, she's pregnant, I didn't even think about it. I was like, I just gave up everything, went back to college, really got into my books, I got a job after college being a graphic designer, cause that's why I graduated out of college, bro. And then I became head graphic designer. Yeah, and then I became art director. But I already had the niche for the tattooing thing, and the office boss, he seen I was getting tattoo books every lunch break. I was getting tattoo equipment getting delivered to the office. Telling him, yeah, I'm gonna go tattoo after work. So after a while, he just let me go, and it was like, well, why? You know what I mean? I'm doing a good job. He's like, nah, this ain't your passion. This is what you want to do. So ever since then, I just became a real tattoo artist, and I had to dedicate my craft to that.
Okay. How do you use your platform to create opportunities for others?
That's a good question. Like when we was on VH1, I showed black artists that really didn't have a platform to show their artistic skills. You feel me? So a lot of times I use my platform to show their artistic skills, especially since I'm in the tattoo industry. But there's a lot of other people that then came into my whole, I say, realm, and they do other things. Like I got Daniel, he does skits online, go viral. There's a whole bunch of things that I've done put into my catalog that helps a lot of people. So that's a good question. But like I said, most of the time we try to help each other. Like if I sit there and do something for you, we're going to do something for each other. You feel me? It's almost like, how can I say it now? In this world right now, you got content creators and they gotta all stick together. Most of the time, y'all content creators, y'all gonna stick together. Y'all gonna do favors for probably a podcast. They're gonna do favors, and that's how it all goes.
Okay. What's a moment where you saw your impacts outside the tattoo shop?
That is a very good question. I never ever thought about that. But I think it's the first time somebody said they looked up to me, and it just took me by surprise, because it was like, until that moment, I always thought I was like a regular person. And then it was like, dang, people really look up to me like under a microscope. And it's like, I had to start watching stuff that I did and the way I talk, because if people look up to you, is your responsibility to make sure that they have something to really look up to and really start teaching people. And I'm at the time, I'll be honest with you, all I was doing was partying and BSing. That was it. Until that moment, it was like, I could possibly be a difference. And then it just kept happening. Then what really got me was when people from jail was telling me how I'm helping them with their bids and whatnot. And people were calling from jail, and it was like, dang, I really got a responsibility. I got to uphold what all these people seeing me.
What's a tattoo that meant like a lot to you?
DMX got his son name tattooed on his throat, Exodus, and it was his last album cover. And I think that was the most important one to me, because it was like, he did it, I say like, not right before he died, but I got to see him the year before he died. And I kept talking to him, and it was like, because a lot of people don't know, DMX was really a friend of mine. Especially when I first got in the industry and started getting on TV and whatnot. He was really a friend of me, because I was tattooing him way before I was on TV. and he had to guide me through a couple of things. Cause you know, in this industry, you're gonna meet a lot of fake people, and you're gonna have to determine the fake from the real. And sometimes when you from the streets, it's like when people do something fake to you, we really want to react. He tells me, like, especially him, when he tells me to come, I'm like, what, you be bugging out. But then it was like, now I understand what he used to say to me and stuff like that. And that's why I think that's one of my most symbolic tattoos that I most remember, because it was my friend and because he passed. And I already knew that, you know what I mean? I knew he wasn't always going to be here to the end.
Okay. What advice would you give your younger self?
It's gonna sound crazy, but I will always say to my younger self, believe in yourself. Like, I never really believed in myself when I was younger. I used to do stuff because I felt like it would get the job done. It was a purpose, but I never really believed in myself. I really didn't think that I could make something of myself. I'll be the water boy if somebody else, you know what I mean, is getting it. I would be the assistant. I didn't really have a problem in being how can I say, a soldier, and somebody else being a general. I always was a good soldier. That's why I always sat there and said, like, I should have believed in myself, because I'm an excellent general. And sometimes you shy away from being a leader because you really don't want that responsibility. You don't want the responsibility of failing. But there's always the other side. What if you don't fail? What if you succeed? And sometimes failure is just a lesson that you can get success later on.
Okay. This is one of my favorite questions. Favorite music to listen while you're working?
Bubba Sparks. Nah, I'm kidding with you. My favorite music to listen to, I have to say, it's like a toss up. It matters how I feel, because you know I'm a real big R&B head. I love listening to R&B when I'm tattooing. But the younger guys in the shop, they feel like, you know what I mean, I be overdoing it. So, you know what I mean, they want to go back to the young side. So most of the time, if I'm not playing R&B, I'll play something like Meek Mills or or Future or something like that.
Calm.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't get too crazy. Nah, that drill music. Nah, I can't do that. Sorry.
Okay. What do you like to do when you're outside of work?
That's an interesting question, because most of the time I just work. Like, you're going to have to understand, especially when you start getting older, like, this ain't, what I do to me right now ain't work, it's a career. So you're never going to really feel like it was work. Like, you're going to put in hours that you wouldn't have done at a 9 to 5. Like, you could put in 60 hours just doing what you love right now and you wouldn't even be tired by the end of the week. But you do 60 hours at a regular 9 to 5, it's different. The stuff that I do is because I love it. I run multiple shops, so I really don't get no time to really get to do anything. Once in a blue, I'll be able to go late night and go probably pick up a Frosty or something.
How do you stay creative in a business world when so many creators drop out after the halfway mark?
Most of the time, I try to set a goal for myself, and if I succeed at that goal, I make another one. If I don't, I keep trying until I do. But that's how you gotta stay creative in this industry, and honestly keep going, because a lot of times if you reach your goal, you're just gonna sit there and be stagnant and not even think about anything next.
Okay. In one word, what's your mission today?
One word?
Yeah.
Takeover.
Why you say that?
Because right now, like, I see an industry that is dying, and a new industry is coming up. And I feel like it's it's basically a lot of people time to really get to where they need to or where they should be. And the old people, like I said, the old people who are holding the gates, they're not gonna be there too much longer. And I feel like everything's opening up. Like, think about it, back in the days, even before y'all age, for y'all to have a successful podcast or anything like that, you had to go through a network. Now, you could be independent and make a whole lot of money doing what you feel like. And I feel like a lot of people don't grasp that whole aspect that is actually independence in this world. A lot of people don't understand the independence now. Like, you could actually make a whole lot of money making your own content off YouTube, off the internet. So now you don't need networks or TV per se. People don't even watch TV like that. So now it's like people that want to create content, who want to bring out ideas, who want to show new shows and new stuff. You don't have to wait for somebody to give you okay. You just give yourself a green light and just do it. People like it, they're gonna gravitate towards it. If they don't, you just gotta create something new.
Okay, before we wrap up, what's one lesson that you learned the hard way that students should know now?
The lesson I learned the hard way that you should know now, humility. Because a lot of people are not humble in certain aspects. Sometimes you'll let your ego take over because you're trying to prove to yourself that you can do something. But you don't have to treat people a certain way. So I always learned that, not per se me, but I always see people treat other people like dirty. If you wouldn't treat us, the CEO, the same way as the janitor, I don't really want to talk to you. Because you don't have a mindset, open mindset. Your mind's always going to be closed.
Okay.
So thank you for
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming. Anyways, that's a wrap.
Thank you for tuning in to the
Levin Lounge. And once again, I'm Madison.
I'm Skylar.
And I'm Alana.
Bye.
And I'm Ceaser.
Yay!
The best, Ceaser Emanuel is the best, I said Maya is the best, Ceaser Emanuel is the best.